What is up, guys and gals? Welcome to another episode of the Nonstop Review. I'm your host, as always, Devon, and equally as always is Rick.
Hello, everyone.
Now, those of you who are familiar with the podcast may know that we don't like to mince words here. What we like to do is dive straight in. So, to that end, Rick, what are we doing today?
Steven Universe, Season 5, Episode 6, Raising the Barn. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Yes, you guys may notice I said my own name a bit weird today. That's because I wanted to make sure that I said my name.
Yeah.
Interestingly, today's episode doesn't involve a theme tune.
Yeah, so it's like the B-side to the original broadcast.
Makes sense, considering he straight up just wakes up and is just like, man, still no phone call.
So
So that's a ukulele, right?
Yes.
Well, it's got 4 strings, so it can't be a guitar.
Yeah. I believe it even has the correct number of strings. Is he going to leave it too long?
I could have sworn it was Peridot on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not to be funny, when he flipped the phone, it was a little green square, so hold on a minute. We saw a special thing where they didn't understand how this technology worked. Oh, look at Lapis's blush.
Oh, a little mouth as well. Peridot's just basically me when it comes to...
Yeah, for those of you, if you haven't gotten it by now, after like the 60-odd episodes of Nonstop, Rick doesn't like Townie episodes.
Yeah.
I would never have fucking said it that way. Yep, that's not good.
Yeah, I do like how Peridot's profile picture is an ill-formed selfie.
I like how Peridot's treating her life on Earth like I treat Stardew.
Yeah.
We'll bring the TV. Right, yeah. Lapis has had bad experience with everything to do with Homeworld, right?
Yeah, she's got massive diamond PTSD.
Isn't her only crime against them calling Yellow Diamond a clod, which Yellow Diamond quickly just shrugged off because she didn't really give a shit?
Yeah, and she forgot later on, yeah.
Well, that's worrying. It's the most unsettling gesture you can see in anyone in media is the firm grip of someone else's shoulder.
Yeah. Oh,
that's terrifying.
It is. She says emotionally. She's going to take the whole barn, ain't she?
Well, it is called barn raising, or raising the barn.
Yeah.
I think this might be a pretty decent allegory for couples that one wants to move and one doesn't. It's not even allegory, it's pretty much straight up said.
Yeah.
What about the people?
Oh. No, she don't.
Peridot really needs to. It's not easy. I understand it's not easy, but Peridot needs to speak up and say that she just straight up doesn't want to move.
Yeah.
Because that's clearly what's going on.
Probably, listen to us at least some degree.
I think everyone's lost a cat or a dog at one point in their life, right?
Yeah. Locally, we're looking for a cat.
Yeah, not your cat though, I assume.
No, it's not my cat. I don't have a cat. But there's a missing local cat.
It's clearly a basketball.
Yep. Yep. Immediate problem.
Giggity. That's some advanced Kama Sutra you should not be trying at your level, Peridot. Oh, right. She thinks raising a bunch of fruit and veg is, like raising a kindergarten. Is this Onion, right? It's got to be Onion selling it, right?
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Yep. Onions.
There should be an apostrophe there.
Yep.
Why am I doing that? That's such a dick thing to say. I'm sorry, Onion, you're 2.
Well, he's got the emotional intelligence of a 2-year-old.
Oh, no, I think he's quite intelligent. He just can't talk, right?
Maybe. Yeah, he might just be. Yeah, because Yellowtail is also mostly non-verbal.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Peridot, this is an awful visual. I generally thought the tail was coming off.
Yeah, I also thought it was going to get ripped.
And you've seen this show.
It's been more than a week.
Now, bear in mind, Pumpkin's only going to live for about 6 months.
Yeah. Pumpkin is absent from Steven Universe Future.
Yes, and we've been told explicitly by Rebecca Sugar via Twitter that Pumpkin's dead.
Yeah.
Hey, good girl, Peridot.
Yes.
Dude, you were scary as fuck.
Yeah. The other reason is that you didn't decide to leave until 15 minutes ago.
Did you catch that, by the way? Peridot does this often where she just doesn't say things because they upset her, and she is scary when she is upset. Just saying, maybe Jasper wasn't the only abusive one in a relationship. Or maybe Lapis learnt it from her time with Jasper. Who knows, right?
Almost certainly, yep.
Lapis is just going to fly off to space on her own, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's done it before.
Lapis's stance on this is entirely understandable. She could have left the barn.
Yeah.
Oh, she watches too much TV, bless. Yeah, oh, she could have left the barn. That was a bit fucked.
Yeah. Seeing as she basically doesn't need the things, like, I think she's now taking the things to remind herself of Peridot more than anything else.
Maybe so. Is Peridot now going to bunk with the crystal gems?
I think she has to.
Oh, right, this is where she
she's
first
back to
stayed,
her old
right?
room.
Yeah. Oh, Peridot needs a cuddle. Boy, this is a depressing fucking shot, isn't it?
It is.
Well, unfortunately, there's nothing they can really do apart from wait and hope, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's other people who need to, reach a point in their lives where they're willing to engage with you.
Man, on that bummer of a note, what did you think, Rick?
I still thought it was a good episode. It teaches kids the allegory of sometimes people, both people that you like, are not going to agree on something, and one of them's going to leave.
Well, that's a bit of an extreme example of it. Like, there's cases where people can disagree and, live and let live. Like, you and I disagree about quite a few things. Granted, we're just friends, but
yeah.
It's one of those where it's very... If you encounter arguments or discussions regularly enough that could be relationship enders, you're probably not in a good relationship.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily to say that one of you's a dickhead. It's just if two people have two super contrasting opinions on loads of subjects, you're not going to get on with them all the time.
No. Like, it's one thing not sharing interests, and that's often quite healthy because it lets each person have their own thing now and again to just like retreat to, that the other one is not going to want to encroach upon because they're not interested in it. But having contrasting opinions can sometimes come to blows, and it normally comes down to the three most important questions of any relationship. Number one, does it really matter? Number two, does it really matter? And number three, does it really matter?
Yeah, so in this case the question does matter because Lapis, we've already seen what happened the last time Lapis was caught in the middle of a war. She wasn't even a combatant in the last war and she got poofed and then turned into a fucking mirror.
Yes.
Like, shit's fucked.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, what about you? What do you think of the episode?
It was a good episode. Bummer of an episode, don't get me wrong, but certainly a good one. I don't know how much of it is influenced by the fact that I just really like both Peridot and Lapis, but,
Yeah, I think they're both in everyone's top fives.
Quite possibly, aye. But yeah, it's one of those. It was good. I think the message was good. And, I can't say I'm glad with how it ended with Lapis fucking off into space, but I get it.
Yeah, totally. It's entirely within character, and we're just gonna have to deal with it now.
So yeah, on that note, favourite moment, Rick?
I think it was possibly the bit where Peridot was like completely dumbfounded in the argument of, isn't that the worst time to tell me that you don't want to go? And she just goes, yes, and there's that look on her face. I mean, it was a serious moment, but it was a nice moment of comedy within the serious moment. How about you? What was your favourite moment?
It's hard to pin down, to be honest, because while I enjoyed the episode, most of the moments just upset me.
It wasn't really a moment episode, was it? It was more of it was a flow episode rather than a moment episode, you know what I mean?
I'll go ahead and say my favourite moment was the ending shot, because it was just so depressing, it really did hammer that final nail in.
Yeah, going back to the toilet.
Well, just Peridot curled up in her not bed, Stephen looking at his phone dejectedly, and Pumpkin barely holding back tears. So yes, the all-important moment, Rick. Who are you adding to the MVP board?
As much as she was basically the antagonist, I think Lapis is the MVP right now, because she's driving storylines even in her absence from here on out, and I think that's important. So yeah, Lapis is getting it from me. How about you?
I've got no choice but to take you at your word for that, because you've seen the rest of the series, whereas I have not. That being said, I'll split the difference with you, and I'm going to give the award to Peridot, because, it took a while, but she did eventually gain the courage to just straight up tell Lapis that no, she didn't want to go. She did have to see Pumpkin cowering in fear as she tried to drag her off as well. So yeah, it's sad, but it needed to be spoken, because Peridot would have been a lot more miserable if she ended up with Lapis in space.
Yeah, totally.
So yes, on that happy little note, we're going to end it right there, guys. Join us again next week where we're tackling episode 7, Gemcation!
Yeah. Bye, everyone.